Hi everyone, it's Kim here. Just letting you know this is the beginning of the video. This is part one. By the time I was finished doing all of this, it was too big to load up as one video. So watch for two parts. I've put part two in the description below. So once you've watched this one, you can just click on the link and it'll take you right to part two, or you can go to my YouTube channel page and look for part two there as well. That's it. That's all. Stay tuned for what's coming up next. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's Kim here. And today is an episode of my playlist, cmego, hashtag cmego. I hope some days some of you will play along with me or create your own cmego videos. The cmego video for me is just a collection of random videos showing and showcasing things that I'm working on, or if I'm doing some mask making, or just I just want to do a video of just one thing at a time. So it allows me to clear off my desk, do some mask making, just random stuff. And I thought I would share the journey with you because, some things may be related to junk journaling, but they may not. So it's a little bit of everything. So today, as you can see by these lovely images, I am working with a kit from Caroline's Craft Tree. It is her metal signs kit, and they're kind of Christmas wintry. There's gingerbread, hot cocoa, just candy canes and baking. So it's just some fun metal, vintage metal signs that she's made, sort of Christmassy and, generic as well. And I thought, when I printed them, at first I printed them on just regular copy paper, just using a standard print, and they look lovely, but it's not quite what I had in my mind of what I wanted to do. And I really want to turn these into faux metal signs. I did want to do them actually on metal, but I needed to get my husband has to get a special blade for cutting metal, because I do have some tin that I was going to cut up, but I'll do those in another episode. And then I was thinking, well, if I do them on tin, it could be a deterrent for some people who don't have tin, or don't have the means to cut them, or a husband named Tom who does all that stuff and helps me out. So I figured I'm going to do faux ones on some chipboard. And I thought these signs would be really cute to just, you could hang them up in the kitchen, on a doorknob, if some of the smaller ones you could put right in the tree. If you have a hot cocoa station at Christmas time, or a cookie station at Christmas time, you could have these signs hanging up next to that as well. And I thought they would also make really cute coasters for some, for different events that you might have if you're serving hot chocolate and stuff. So many different things. So printing them on the copy paper, as much as I love it, I just feel that these are more collage papers. And so I would use this more to collage in a Christmas book. Maybe you have a Christmas recipe book you're going to make, or a Christmas journal, or a Christmas to-do list journal. So I thought that, printing on the copy paper was a good method for doing those kinds of projects. But then I realized I wanted them to be a little bit more metal looking, tin looking. So I printed these on photo paper. I used a very high gloss photo paper. Now don't go running out to buy this stuff at the regular office stores, because it can be expensive. Just keep your eye out for this stuff when you go thrifting. Photo paper always shows up in the thrift shops. Just keep looking and you will eventually find it. But for those of you who can't wait, well, then you'll have to go to the office stores to get some of it. But I wanted it to have this metallic sheen to it, and I love how the colors have changed so much using the high gloss print. And so I thought, well, I'm getting a little closer to what I want to do. So I printed several pages of them in the high gloss printing. So yes, I'm very ambitious, but that's how I work. And I will get them all done. And like I said, there's so many more prints that could be done. I only printed a handful of the sheets, and they're gorgeous. And if this is not enough, I have to say Caroline has really outdone herself this time around. She's got a really cool set of 3 different kits of Christmas people that are just amazing. So I'm going to hopefully work on some of those someday soon. And then I took this sheet here and I just printed them 2 to a page to make some smaller signs. I thought these would be really, really cute to put on the Christmas tree. So that's what I've printed so far, and I'm going to hand cut these out really quickly offline, just with a pair of fussy cut scissors. Some of the bigger ones I might cut on my cutter, but these smaller ones I'll just cut by hand. So then in the forms of chipboard that I brought to the table, I brought some of these Mousse Light coasters. I have quite a few of them, and they're easily available as well. Well, not Mousse Light maybe, but other brands. But I've seen these often in the thrift shops. Also, if you go to restaurants, some restaurants hand them out to put your drinks on. You could maybe ask for a few, ask a friend, phone a friend, the drill on that. And I also had some vintage bingo cards that I thought I would use. There's, you can easily come across these, and you could use plain chipboard too. I just wanted something that was a little bit more substantial that I could use on making these. And then I have some hardcover book covers where I've used all the book pages on the inside, and this was such a nice forest wintry green. I thought I would like to use this, and I'll make a couple of the bigger signs with this one. And then I'm doing this on the fly, but right away I just said, oh, I like this red checkered fabric. It's a heavy cotton weight. It was a curtain, I think, or a curtain valance, and it just goes on for miles and miles. And I have to take it all apart. But I figured, well, for trying this out, I'm just going to take apart a little piece, which I've done, because whoever sewed this really was serious. And so I've just opened up a small portion of it, but it's quite folded over, and the stitching is quite fine. So I've had to really work hard at taking this apart. So I'm just going to snip off a piece as I go along. I'm going to cut out some of the images and kind of match it up with the chipboard that I'm using, and then take it from there. And if I need more, I'll undo more. My original plan was to make some Christmas napkins with this, but I also see that there's a little bit of discoloring, so I may be trying to use it in different areas. I don't think it'll be so noticeable on the signs, but for Christmas napkins, I may have to reconsider that and just use this for crafts. But you know me, I like to iron, so that's the next thing I have to do, is take this offline and go iron it and get rid of all the loose threads and cut it up to fit my sign pieces. And then I have to cut out the signs. So I will get that part done, but I will show you some of the other tools that I'm using today. And that is, I'm going to have 2 pairs of pliers, because I'm going to be making holes in the signs and possibly putting some rivets or eyelets in there. I just haven't brought them to the table yet. I'm going to be using this, this is rebar wire. This is what they use, I believe, to hang ceiling tiles. You can buy this in quite a large roll for about $6 or $7. It's not expensive to buy, and it lasts forever. I use it all the time, but it does last for a long period of time. And then I have some vintage antique gold jump rings that I'm going to use for putting together the sign hanger, which is why I'm using the wire. So that's just some of the pieces that I've brought to the table. And as far as the embellishing, I'm not sure where I'm going yet with it, but I will give it some thought while I'm doing all this cutting. And so I'm going to pause the camera for now, do all my cutting, and come back and see what I can take from there and show you my next procedure. So I'll just put you on hold for a second. Okay, here we are. Things are cut up. I'm just going to go over a few little things that I've done here. First of all, I cut out a whole schwack of these. And I will not be doing all of them online on this video, but I will finish them after this video ends, and I will hopefully, and I will show them tomorrow in my Friday follow-up. So I just have them all in a pile here. And then I have 3 on these coasters that I'm going to test. I think I'll put the coaster, yeah, I'll just leave it this way. It doesn't really matter. They're going to get covered up either way. So I have 3 here that are on coasters, and they're a little bit smaller, which is perfect for having some type of a little border. And then I've cut out the 2 large ones that are going to fit on this book cover. We'll cut up the book cover. And so one will be a longer one and the other one will be the other direction. But I think they're going to look really sharp, especially with this forest green background. So I have those. And then I did just take one bingo card and line up to see how many I could get on here. I'm not going to do these little tiny ones online. I will show them to you on Friday when I do my follow-up, but I will just cut this into small pieces and probably do the same procedure that I'm going to do with these, I think. And then because I'm still doing this kind of on the fly, and then I have this fabric, and I just cut off a small piece of it. Oh, I don't know where to put anything. I just cut off a small piece of it to show you, or to get started. And I always like to iron everything. There are a few threads here that I'm going to pull out right away. Excuse me. But I do like to iron everything. I like a nice clean slate when I get started. And I have this little iron. I bought it at, or my husband bought it for me at Walmart for a present. And I don't know, it was around $30, I think. Great little gadget. And I will often just have like another sheet or a couple pillowcases piled up, and I will just do some basic small ironing right here on the table. If I have to do anything major, I do have my big iron and ironing board set up, but it's on the other side of the room, only because it just it keeps everything away from being in one little spot here, and it gets me off my chair. Which is, sometimes it's very easy to not get off the chair, right? So that was just how I ironed it. I just wanted to show you this little thing. It's the cutest little iron. It does have steam, like you can put water in it, but it doesn't last very long. It's not meant to do, your whole laundry. No, I don't iron clothes, not very often. But it is a small iron, so the water runs out or dissipates pretty fast. But it's enough to get these little projects done. So all these little threads, I think you've seen me do this before. Whether you have some ugly stickers or you have wine labels that are stickers, I have these, or you could use your lint roller as well. But I have no shortage of these labels because my husband makes wine from kits. And so I have these all the time to use for my threads. I use it to catch my threads. I use them to pick the threads off of stuff. Sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm pulling threads and I just take them off and I add them onto here. And there have been times where I've used the threads on the sticker for a project. Nothing lately. But usually I just take them in small little pieces, so I'm not using the whole thing at once. And then I just peel off the paper and catch my threads. And you can see where the threads are being picked up off of this thing, because I don't like them transferring from one project to the next, and I don't like to have to sit here and pick them all off. So this seems to work really well for me. And I can just have this sitting in the corner, and as I'm cleaning things, I can pick it up and continue to use it. So working in a small piece also saves you having to, discard this and not have it fully used. So that's another option. But I have in the past taken some of these papers and then used them for kind of a textured element underneath something, or painted over them. So it's just a matter of playing. And I know you're rolling your eyes at me. I can see it. But that's what I do. I don't like to put this stuff into the landfill if I don't have to. But it is fibers and papers, so it is biodegradable in the end, but it's, you know, it's still something that's going into the landfill when I can give it one more life if possible. But that's just me. If you coat this with enough threads and stuff, you can make sort of like little bird nest type images by, you know, cutting it round and then stitching some pearls through it. So there's lots of options that way. So I'm going to get this big piece of fabric out of the way. I may have to go back into it because I don't think I have enough here. But I also see some threads on the other side of this fabric, so I'm just going to pick those up really quickly. And yeah, I'm doing this on the fly. I don't exactly have a plan. You can see how faded, I don't know, maybe you can't. Yeah, how faded it is from one piece to the next. But I do have a big enough piece here to do the larger signs for sure. And you can see as I go along, this gets quite interesting. Well, I might have to be doing something with this after. Okay, so my plan, I'm going to start with this one here. So my plan is to have a piece that's just about the same size as the coaster, because this is smaller. So I'm just going to take my scissors. Like I said, we're doing this together at the same time, so I'm sure you're going to be yelling at me to do different things on the screen. Now, these are not my sharp ones. To use this. And normally I would tear, but then I have lots of little stringy things, and I didn't want that this time around. So I'm just cutting it to the size of the coaster, sort of. And I am going to pull a few threads along the edges so it has that frayed edge look. So this is where this comes in handy, because I just start pulling threads and I lay them down there. Sometimes I keep these threads, but I have quite a collection now, so I can't keep everything. And I don't know the exact terminology of, you know, the weaving going. I'm not a weaver in any way. You know, one way is called the weft, but don't ask me which one is the weft and which is the other. The word's not coming to me right now. But I do know that some ways are easier to pull your threads and the other is a little bit more difficult. So if somebody has some more knowledge that they can share with me on YouTube or on Facebook, please do, and I will pass it on to my viewers. And I see there's a few threads here I missed, but this just gives you an idea of where I'm going with this by pulling the threads. I just want it to be a little bit, you know, roughed up looking, shabby looking. Okay, I think that's enough. And this is getting more and more interesting as I go along. Like I said, I might end up keeping this piece. It could be a cluster in something. So this was, the idea was that I would just put this onto the card, because it's not really about the chipboard at all. And then put this, oh, isn't that looking cute already? Put this on top. Now, it is, you know, I did print this on gloss, and I do want it to be glossy, but I don't want it to be super glossy. I'm going to get this out of the way. So my next plan was to take my ink pad, and I'll just do it on the back of this other sheet here. I just wanted to take my ink pad and just do a light dusting of the brown ink on top. Now I'm working just right off the pad. This will take some of that sheen off and again, weather it a little bit more. And I also thought of doing some stenciling and using some dimensional paints, you know, to create kind of that wintry look. But, you know, it's just messy. I don't have the room here to do that, but it's something that if you wanted to do, you could easily do on your own projects. So I know that the next step would be to put holes in this and put some type of little brads or rivets or something, because it's got the four corners and I want it to look real. So I just have a jar of mixed bits here. These might be too big, I think. That's kind of big. Well, I'll make a hole and see. Now, I have my crocodile. I probably could do it with other tools, but I'm just going to use my crocodile, and I'm just lining up to where the hole is already in this. And so now I do think that that's a little bit big. Well, it's not that bad. It's not so bad. Okay, I'm going to give it a try. Maybe I have smaller ones in here. I'll just double check. Oh, I have this one, but do I have 4 of them? No, and they have a little hook on the end. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the brown brads, or maybe the green would look nice. Oh, the green is cute too, eh? But then there's this burgundy. Ooh, I like that. I think I'm going to go with the burgundy. Okay, so this hole is a little bit off, but that's okay. I will move it in a little bit more on this one. Just so that it's, oh, that's even worse. Moment of silence. And then this one. Okay. So my thought was that these little brads had to go in before I put them down on the paper, but I think these are too big. I'm going to pause the camera and go get something a little bit smaller. I'll be right back.